Hey there! So today we have another Darwin's Rants, and this is about specifically just one brewery, which is pretty interesting. This is about Maine Beer Company. Yeah, I was listening to an interview about them, and I just thought their business model is so crazy and wild, and how their price point just they're so expensive, and it's wild. And it's actually a good story. They actually do support their business and what they do, and good for them. It's not really a poo-poo like, oh my god, you're so expensive, this is terrible. It's like, wow, this is really interesting. Wow, this is a really fun thing to talk about. And congratulations to you that your business model works out and people are buying your beer at the volumes you're buying, and you're making so much beer. And congratulations, like, it's awesome. But it's just very interesting and different. So I'm gonna go through my history with this brewery, and then sort of like dissect a little bit about the pricing and the crazy numbers. And I honestly really should have a pen and paper, but let's just pretend I'm doing it right here. So let's start with my history of this brewery. So this is back in the day when I just got into craft beer, didn't really know what I was doing. You go on Beer Advocate, and it's like, all right, what's the store got? And let's buy some beer, and like, what's good? And it no longer exists, but the brewery, the beer store, I think the name was Good Beer, East Village. Nice little shop, man. And unfortunately it closed, but that was a cool spot. And they posted like, oh yeah, we have this Maine Beer Company thing. And I looked on Beer Advocate, and I remember these little pictures, and the ratings were so good. They actually opened a Maine Beer Company opened up in 2008, which is crazy, like way before the craft beer boom. And I was like, wow, these are really all highly rated. We got to check it out. So I went to the beer store and bought like the whole lineup. I believe it was Zoe, their Amber Ale, Mean Old Tom, their Porter or Stout or whatever, King Titus, their like Vanilla Porter, I want to say, maybe Mo, which is their Pale Ale, and Peeper, their Pale Ale too, something like that. It was a lineup of 4 or 5 beers. And even back in 2012, I'm pretty sure I paid like $8 or $10 per bottle. And I remember sharing these with my friends, and I was like, wow, these beers are good. But then I just sat back, and I was like, what the fuck? Like the fuck? You fucking spent like $40. Like, let's say I bought 5 bottles. You spent fucking $40 on fucking beer. You fucking asshole. Like, I'm not, it just like, it made no sense. I was like, that's really expensive. Like literally I shared it with like a couple friends, and I was like, fuck me, man, I just spent $40. Like, god damn it. So you remember the price shock back then. It didn't fucking stop me. Anytime lunch hit, I still buy it. I remember working in retail. That was one of my first jobs in craft beer. Anytime it hit, I'd still buy a bottle of another one. I loved another one. That's some of the regulars. Like, you had regulars at a craft beer store, especially a boutique craft beer store like the one I worked at. Oh yeah, Maine Beer Company hit. They'd get off the train a couple blocks away from the Long Island Railroad. A couple blocks there, they go right to the store and grab some beer to go bring home, and they'd grab a couple bottles, and I was like, oh yeah, Maine Beer Company. People liked it, but it was always expensive. It was always like, some of the IPAs, $9, $10, $11. And that's the crazy thing for me. Like, I just listened to an interview on Drink Beer, Think Beer. The owner just recently said they produce 50,000 barrels of beer a year. They're going to 50,000 barrels. That is an insane amount. Like, if you guys don't know, that's like in the range of like Top and Goliath and like Lawson's Finest and some decent sized mid-sized craft breweries, which math to me just is crazy because, again, of their price point. So if you guys don't know, Maine Beer Company only since 2008 and it's 2026, they've never sold cans. They do the 500 mil bottle, which is 16.9 ounces. Let's round up to 17 ounces. The same bottle that Pliny the Elder Blind Pig comes in. You guys are gonna tell me the price, but from what I understand, like, you can buy like Russian River, like those beers for like $6-7 maybe. I think locally maybe you could buy Maine Beer Company for like $7-8 a bottle, but from distribution, I know those beers to cost anywhere from $9, $10, $11. And so it's one bottle. So you really want. So again, when you the volumes just don't make sense to me. Like when I buy, like when any consumer buys beer, they're gonna buy a 6-pack. Let's just round around some prices. 6-pack for $12. Yeah, and you're buying 72 ounces of beer, or you're buying a 4-pack of tall boy cans, and you're buying 64 ounces for $16 or $20 or something like that, right? Of hazy IPA, whatever, even lager, whatever. When you buy Maine Beer Company, I don't know about you, but like I'm used to consumers buying one bottle, maybe two, of 17-ounce beer for 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, $10 a bottle. Like to get to 50,000 barrels. Like again, the main purchase that you're seeing is either 17 ounces versus 64 or 72. Like the difference is like 50 ounces of beer, like to make these like different purchases. And unless I'm crazy, I don't think consumers are going to the store buying, 60 to 70 ounces of Maine Beer Company per purchase. So these are just vast amounts of beer that like where is it going? Like who's buying all this beer? Like it's just crazy to me, right? Again, like one person purchasing a 6-pack, like quadruples the amount that the other purchase was, right? Like so you need 4 people to buy the same amount to compensate for one person's purchase of a 6-pack, right? And you're somehow producing that much amount of beer and selling it. That's wild. Like I don't know who's buying all this beer. And again, this is not a poo-poo of the brewery. It's just like such a crazy business model, such a high price point. The owner even mentioned like, yeah, like our beer's a little bit more expensive, maybe like twice as much. Bro, no, your beer price per ounce is like 4 times as much. It literally, like that one bottle of beer is 4 times per cost per ounce compared to a 6-pack, compared to a 4-pack of Tall Boys. It's still like not even comparable. It's like 2 to 3 times the price. Like it's way more expensive, and that's cool because it's an awesome brewery. They, I think 2% of their sales goes towards the environment. Great cause. They have like 100 employees. Everybody gets like health insurance, a livable wage. Like they're one of those breweries that like one of the businesses like really cares about that kind of stuff. As someone, I think I did the math on the drive home. I'm pretty sure I worked for like 8 breweries in my life. And I've had one opportunity to get health insurance, right? Like, and then thankfully I always worked front of house to make tips. But if I didn't, I'd make no money. There'd be no money to be made, right? Like unless you're in sales or bartending, brewers, blah blah blah. You don't make you don't make great money. Like these are small businesses that don't have much money to get around. But I guess maybe your company really does like go out of the way to really support the workers and do that cool stuff. So again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that their beer is that expensive. Like I'm just blown away the model works. Like who are these people buying that much Maine Beer Company? With that kind of like, it just blows me away because at that price point, it's just so much more expensive. Like I would just never have the cut cap. Like normally if you buy a beer, you get 4 shots at it with a 4-pack of Tall Boys or 6 12-ounce cans. When I buy Maine Beer Company, I'm buying one bottle and I drink that one thing and I forget about the brewery for a minute. It's just like I know who the hell's going to the store. Like my first interaction of Maine Beer Companies going to the store and buying like 5 bottles. Could you imagine like coming home? Oh, honey, I didn't even buy a 6-pack. I just bought a few bottles of beer. Oh, you must have spent like $8, right? Because you bought less than 6 beers, right? No, I bought these like tall guys, and I bought like 4 of them, and it was like $40, which is like literally the price of like a pretty good bottle of wine. It's like, what? You have it's $40 a fucking beer? It's wild. And the crazy thing is like their beers are cool. Like they have a really interesting kind of like vibe to them where like outside of dinner, like all their beers are like 5 to 6.5%, right? Like just a lot of pale ale. Lunch is like one of the most popular beers. Maybe that beer is like 7, right? But it's like very middle, like, nothing is a kind of like boom, punch you in the face kind of like, crazy beer. They're just really beautifully well, like almost like German beers where they're just like, wow, that's a really, really great example of this beer. Obviously they do a lot of focus on hoppy beers. So like, but like just like wonderfully, just clean, elegant, decisive beers that are just like really good, really some of the best pale ales being produced. Some of the best IPA being produced. Honestly, now I'm itching for Maine Beer Companies, which is stupid because like the price is so high, but I'm sort of itching like a really good, right? Like, because for me, it's an occasion beer. I don't go to the store and go like, oh yeah, let me buy like a 6-pack of this. It's just like, oh, I haven't had that in a while because I just don't normally buy their beers. So yeah, interesting. So you post comments below. Like I thought it was an interesting concept. Like it's just so wild. Like how are they selling so much beer? Like who is buying all this beer? And what is the purchasing habits of these people buying the beers? Because I I can't imagine that people are buying like 4 bottles at once, or again, to match the volume of someone's purchase, you have to be buying 4 to 5 bottles per purchase versus like, oh, I bought a 6-pack. Oh, I bought a 4-pack, right? These are easy sales. Who the hell's buying that much Maine Beer Company at that price point? Like, it's just very, hey man, good for you. Congratulations, good for you. Somehow you figure it out, and you take care of your workers, and you do a good cause, and the beer is fantastic. So good for you. But it just baffles my mind. That's how this brewery operates and gets away with it. They keep getting away with it. It's funny. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear your history and story about Maine Beer Company. Because and by the way, one of the other cool things, stories about that I like to think about Maine Beer Company is that for the longest time, and my other coworker agreed, and my friends too, we always thought lunch was very mediocre and another one was better. Whether another one is still better is something I don't know, but for the longest time, I believe that was definitely the case. Part of not loving lunch as much was, I think, that we were just in the haze game. Like, the beers were just so much more explosively, quote unquote, tasty when haze was so good, especially the stuff I was getting back in 2013, 2014, 2015, that lunch was just like, what the frick? Like, so lame. But then I did a solid 180 a few years back when I reviewed lunch again, and I was like, oh wow, like this beer's freaking awesome. It's like dry, and my palate has shifted towards appreciating West Coast way more than the big hazy guys, and I still appreciate both, but like it definitely, there's waxing waning of your preferences, and I remember just like being blown away by this bottle of lunch. I was like, oh, it's been 10 years, and finally I've had a bottle that and let me tell you, I did not like drink that beer once, go like, oh, whatever, this beer sucks, I'm not drinking it again. Like, that's where my palate goes. Like, I was like, let's try it again. What's the hype? What's the freaking hype with this beer? And I've had to at least purchase like lunch like 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8 times before finally going like, oh, this beer's finally sort of makes sense to me, because now my palate's like more acclimated to like really enjoying dry, crisp, like bitter IPA. Not that I like didn't like bitter stuff. Like, one of my first like experiences like getting into craft beer was trying a heady topper and getting my palate ripped off. I'm like, oh, this is bitter, and still enjoying that beer, right? So, Maine Beer Company, what a gem! Just a unique kind of unicorn in the world of how you can operate a mid-sized craft brewery to like grow it so large, do a great job for the environment, good causes, and your staff. Like, good for you. But it's just a weird business model that I'm just like always like baffled by. I'm like what? Anyway, cheers.